After spending time away from the wetsuit, Dave Lazuski is tired of being a regular guy, so he dons the green and yellow once again to rejoin the world of real-life superheroes. But this time, he's not alone. There's a whole new lineup of homegrown crime fighters out to clean up the mean streets of New York City. And when his new League of Justice comes crashing headfirst into Chris D'Amico's evil army, it's a no-holds-barred battle royale between the forces of good and evil. I am Russell Ecks, and this is Geek Armada's review of Kick-Ass 2. Kick-Ass 2 picks up right where Kick-Ass left off, which is problematic. Right off the bat, this movie is neglecting the end of the previous film. At the end of Kick-Ass, Chloe Grace Moretz's character Mindy, aka Hit Girl, is enrolled in the same school as Dave, aka Kick-Ass. 4 years later in Kick-Ass 2, she seems to be attending the same school as a freshman, which doesn't make any sense. And that's not the only inconsistency in sight. At the very end of Kick-Ass, Christopher Mintz-Plaza's character Chris D'Amico, aka the Red Mist, is wearing an orange version of his superhero costume and ever so menacingly establishes he has turned to the dark side. But now in Kick-Ass 2, Chris D'Amico seems to be pussy-whipped by his mommy until he finally gains enough freedom to create an all-new supervillain alter ego, the Motherfucker. Problems like this crop up throughout the film, but are only relevant because of the spliced storytelling this movie has to pull off. There's really 3 different stories being told throughout this movie. That Dave wants to be Kick-Ass again, Hit Girl's experience as a real girl in high school, and the Motherfucker's need for revenge. Lots of movies have to tell multiple stories at the same time, and are able to pull it off. But in Kick-Ass 2, I felt that some of the storylines were sacrificed to serve the others. Kick-Ass's motivation in this film almost seems as though it was an afterthought. Dave starts off in this movie much as he did in the original, just a regular guy living his life as a nobody. But Dave gets the itch again and wants to start wearing the mask and thwarting crime. But why? In the original Kick-Ass, Dave was looking for some sort of identity in the Kick-Ass character that he developed, and it worked. He became more confident, he made more friends, he killed the big bad guy, and he got the girl. So why throw all of that away? The only reason I can think of is because they needed Kick-Ass to go back to fighting crime to make the story work. But did they really? As I said, this movie was really telling 3 different stories, and Hit Girl's story would have been a great movie all by itself. Take a girl who's been trained to fight crime her whole life, and then drop her into a real-life school and see if she can build a bridge between her humanity and her badass, butt-kicking ways. That would have been a great movie, sort of like Mean Girls meets a Hong Kong action film. And as for the Motherfucker's need for revenge, that story really seems better suited as the climax of a trilogy, not the second act. Had they made the Hit Girl movie the number 2 of the franchise and saved this story for last, the series would seem much more balanced. Not to mention it would have made a lot more sense to pair up Kick-Ass's return with the revenge story as a final act. But story problems aside, this movie was pretty fun to watch. By adding a bevy of new characters and really beefing up the action sequences, Kick-Ass 2 pulled off a much more adventurous movie than the first, though slightly less realistic when it comes to the fight scenes. That's why I'm giving this movie a 5 out of 10. Starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Christopher Mintz-Plaza, Kick-Ass 2 opens Friday, August 16th. Hey, thanks for watching, and remember you can always find more movie, TV show, and video game reviews at geekarmada.com. P.S. There is a post-credit scene in this movie that just might reveal a possible sequel, so make sure you stay to watch that.